All right, let me tell you guys about our very first sponsor. When we first set out to make this podcast, we had absolutely no idea what we were doing, but we knew we needed a place to record, edit, host, and distribute our show. Luckily for us, we found Anchor, which has all of these services in one spot in an easy-to-use format on desktop or mobile, and it's free, which fit really nicely into our beginner budget of $0. We were able to distribute our podcast to all of the major platforms like Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Mel.
And Kel.
And this is It's Called Culture.
Ever heard of it?
All right. So we're ready to move on to the second part of this episode, which is talking about the differences when you go to an event, for instance, some kind of a gathering of people to eat. So not just like family dinner at home, but an actual gathering of people, and what the food situation is like at a Portuguese gathering versus an American gathering.
American gathering. Right. So like weddings, graduation parties, cookouts,
Christmas, Thanksgiving, anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
So what do we want to start off with first? What party do we want to?
I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to put it out there. I went to a Thanksgiving with my American husband and they ran out of turkey. There was not enough turkey. You don't even know you don't even know how to respond to that. You're
because that's never the case for us. There's always actually, because like we have turkey, we have ham, we have like the stuffing, like it's just, we have so much food, like an abundance of food. So even if we did run out of turkey, like at least there's like ham or this, we would never run out of turkey.
No,
we double. If you're having say you're having 20 people over for Thanksgiving, you're gonna cook as if you have 40 people over.
They cook more than one turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my family cooks more than one turkey. Like we have Thanksgiving and there's like, oh, we're gonna deep fry one, we're gonna put one in the oven, we're gonna put another smaller one in the oven. Like we have 3 turkeys on the table, and you're just like, guys, I think this was too many turkeys. But we've never run out of turkey.
No, I can't say we've ever ran out of either like turkey, nothing. Not on things. We have so much leftovers. So much leftovers for Thanksgiving. So that's just So I can't even think about.
None. We were scraping the carcass.
That's like the scene of that just reminded me of the scene of National Lampoon's Christmas whatever vacation, and one of the, what's her face? I can't think of her name right now, but she makes a turkey, and they are all sitting down at the table, and Clark Griswold getting ready to cut the turkey, and it just like deflates, and they're just trying to like eat off the bone. That's like what Melissa was trying to do.
Yeah, but I mean, nunca na minha vida.
Nunca
have I run out of food like that at an event. Like the main I mean, it's Thanksgiving and you ran out of turkey. It's like, that's the main thing. And
like, if you run out of a side, that's a little understandable. Still not something that would happen in our
they've run out of sides too. So it's like one year they ran out of turkey, like the next year they run out of like mashed potatoes, like the next year they don't have enough rolls. Like it's just like it's just not. And they're okay with it.
Yeah.
They're okay with it. Like my family would be so embarrassed. They would go to great lengths to make sure that they never ran out of anything ever again. Like they would just be like, all right, we're going to double down next year. Like, no, they just like, they count and they make enough for the people that they think are coming. And then
they would be mortified.
One extra person shows up and like the shit goes off the rails.
Yeah.
Or
Oh
somebody
yeah,
comes
no.
somebody comes with a little more appetite.
Yeah, not Thanksgiving. This is I have a wedding that I attended and I went to. It was a family wedding. So yes, they were Portuguese. So this one is a little bit of a shocker. They ran out of food at their wedding.
At
And
the
I was
wedding.
at the wedding. Yep. I had on my plate, I had a salad. I ate a little bit of salad and I had French fries. I was
No.
like, what? How do you run out of food at a wedding?
That is unheard of.
Yeah. So,
So
and
explain this to me because wedding, like all the weddings I go to now are like plated meals. So this obviously was not a plated meal.
no,
Was
this was like a
was
buffet style, right?
gotcha.
Like, yeah, buffet style, and you went up. So maybe, and obviously, just by the time I went up, there just wasn't any more food.
So I have follow-up questions
Okay.
because buffets normally like if like an event is hosted by like a catering company or something, like they will keep replacing like okay, you ran out of the fish tray and they will go and replace with a new fish tray. So was
Yeah.
this like a potluck situation or was this like catered and like the catering company effed up?
I think it was more of like a potluck. Like probably certain people were told what to bring. I didn't make a like me or my mom, like none of us were told to make a dish, but maybe other people were. And they obviously probably just didn't make enough. So I think it was a potluck situation, running out of food.
I've never seen that
Never.
in a Portuguese setting.
No, I same. It was like I was just like, holy shit, what the hell? Like I was like, and then I remember like leaving the wedding and obviously I was starving. So I had to like get fat at that time, like so probably like around 10, I had to get fast food. I remember like stopping to go get fast food. And it was because
Wow.
I was starving. So like I just had salad and French fries. It was batatas fritas.
So what did your dad have to say about that?
He was like, do I go get my card? Do I go get my card back? He's like, oh, if I had known, I would have waited to put my card inside the stupid box. That's all he could say.
Oh my god. They get the card. It's like it's been tampered with. Like it looks like he like opened it and like resealed it. There's no money in it anymore.
I know. And that was a Portuguese wedding, but a little more, I say always Americanized. So I won't say all Americans are like this though, because I went to a 4th of July party and thank you, Keith, for the invite. He listens to us. It was a great party and there was a shit ton of food. I was thoroughly impressed. I was like, this looks like a Portuguese 4th of July party. There was an array of food, different kinds of food, and obviously there was so much alcohol. So I will give them that.
Oh, the Americans, they will run out of turkey, but they will not run out of alcohol.
No, yeah. They won't.
In my family, it's standard practice. Like we buy those foam, like styrofoam takeout containers.
Yep.
And like people come over for like Christmas and we're like, we have like our stack of styrofoam containers sitting on the counter for people to take home with them when they leave.
Right. So we had to do that for one of my graduation parties. My mom was like, she was like cooking like 3 or 4 days before my actual graduation party. There was just so much food. And we had a bunch of those like styrofoam thing, like, you know, the styrofoam plates, because we knew there was just going to be so much leftovers to take. And like, you can't throw those leftovers out. Like you want to give those to people. Like I remember like going downstairs to my dad's bar and like just giving plates to the guys at the bar. And they're just like, oh, okay.
So, do you think Americans will take food from a buffet at an outside event? home with them as leftovers because I know the Portuguese people do. Like if you, let's say you go to a gathering and it's it's in a function room and it's catered by the restaurant owners or whatever.
Yeah.
And they do a buffet. There's always going to be like some leftover buffet food.
Yeah.
They will ask for that. Can you box this up for me to take home?
Yes. And I think the Americans will do it too.
You think so?
Yeah. I think so.
Because that's what I'm not sure of.
I think they would.
Because I always grew up thinking that was like taboo. Like you're not supposed to take the food home from the restaurant, like buffet. Like it felt different to me than just like, okay, I ordered a plate. I didn't finish eating my plate and I'm going to take it home. But like, I'm assuming they just have to throw the food away anyways. So why wouldn't they let you take it home if you've paid for it? But
right.
For the buffet.
I don't know. I think Americans maybe would. I don't know. I'm not one. So I'm personally not one.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I'm not personally one to take leftovers home because I'm not a big leftover person. Like, I don't know. I get I'm weird with food. So, and I got a sensitive stomach, so I can't fuck around with that. So I don't bring a lot of leftovers. So I personally won't. I don't know. I feel like some Americans would. I guess it just depends. Maybe it depends on the type of food it is.
Do you think that American like brunch buffets have fish fillets in them?
No, I feel like American buffet breakfast.
What's an American brunch? I feel like it's like a chicken broccoli Alfredo.
Yeah, a chicken broccoli Alfredo with like the French toast.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously bacon, eggs.
But no fish fillets. No.
I don't think you're eating fish at 10 in the morning. I don't think so.
Portuguese events.
There is.
Fish fillet is in your brunch.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think of the brunch I went to that was like it was a bridal shower brunch. And it was an American one. And it definitely wasn't fish, but you called it on that pasta, broccoli. You called it on that. That's always there. Yeah, we just have like that fish fillet that looks like chicken. I'm sorry, it does.
Have we even talked about carne lechana? Because that's a classic like Portuguese buffet food, and how dry it is.
Oh, so fucking dry. Like the Sahara Desert dry.
We need to have an open dialogue about this because I feel like it's sacrilegious to say that like the carne lechana is bad, but like it's always bad. Like it's always dry.
Yeah. So basically what carne lechana is, it's, so for our listeners that don't know, it's like a pork with clams and like potatoes and has like a sauce with it.
Thank God it has a little sauce.
And it's supposed to be like relatively, like you look at it, you're like, oh, this looks good, but it's fucking dry.
The pork is like sawdust.
Yeah. Anywhere you go, I'm sorry.
I've never had a good one. Like I've never had someone make it that's like not like that. Like, is that the goal, for it to just dry up like a rock? Like, I don't understand. Like you have all this gravy, but like it tastes so dry.
That's like one meal my mom makes that she knows my brother likes, because my brother's like not. He's kind of almost like an American now. He's not into a lot of like the Portuguese stuff food wise. So that is like one dish she will make for him. And it's all right when she makes it. I only will eat the clam. I'll pick at the clams and I'll have some potatoes. The pork is fucking dry. I can't understand. Like it is. It's so dry. I'm glad we're on the same page of it.
We're going to have our listeners tell us, like, are there restaurants or places that you've had a non-dry carne lechana? Because I have yet to discover. I mean, I don't even really order it when I go to restaurants anymore because I just know. I've had it kind of recently, but It's good. I mean, it's like pizza. Like you can't have like a bad pizza. Like you can't have like it's always good.
Yeah,
but
it's good.
just dry.
It's just dry. I would order another extra bowl of sauce for that so I can dip the freaking pork in it.
You do like a side gravy boat.
Yeah, I'd be like, thank you. Yeah, exactly.
It's tasty. It's very tasty. Seasoned well.
It doesn't like stick, like the seasoning doesn't stick with the pork for some reason.
The pork just it just hardens and dries up. That's all.
Yeah. Just real quick back to like my brother, and when I say he's like has like the American mentality and is not really into like a lot of the Portuguese foods. So his idea when he throws a birthday, because he has a birthday in the summer, so he always tends to throw a party or whatever. His mentality is just a couple burgers, hot dogs on the grill, and just booze. That's all you need for a party. And like a bag of chips. And I'm like, wait, you're Portuguese, and in your brain, you think that's all you need for a party? Like, you need a couple appetizers, and then you know, the food, but then you need different kinds. You can't just have burger and hot dogs.
Portuguese people are incapable of making, like, even if they say that they're just doing burgers and hot dogs, because I've been to parties before, like, oh, just come over, we'll throw some burgers and dogs on the grill. But then you get there and it's not just burgers and dogs.
No,
they'll say it's just burgers and dogs, but you get there and there's like, oh, you know, well, we'll put some chorizo on, and then we'll put just a little bit of chicken, and then some corn on the cob, and then like, oh, I made this tray of rice, and then I made these boiled potatoes, and then I just like, it just keeps escalating.
So for one of these parties, his brain was just like, yeah, mom, just, you know, couple hot dogs, hamburgers, that's it. So my poor mom, here she is, because he said like, oh, about like maybe 20 people coming over, 15 to 20 people, I don't know. So her brain now is just like overload about what she needs to make and all this stuff. So I just remember coming home. I like left work early that day so I could help her, because I knew, forget it, I knew my brother was not going to help. Like, it's his party, but he ain't going to do shit for it. I came home. My mom had like a whole octopus, like an octopus dish ready, bulky yaw ready. I'm like, Mom, it's like a good cookout. Nobody wants the octopus on a hot summer day in June.
You should have invited my dad over, because my dad is like
an octopus.
If they have octopus on the menu, he's having it 10 out of 10 times.
I'll give her credit. People did eat it though. People did eat
they?
It. Yeah, I was shocked.
Were these like all Americans? Or was it Portuguese?
So a lot of his friends are Portuguese, and he actually has like a Cape Verdean friend, and his family came by, really great people. And the other ones actually really love the octopus. So
it's just ethnic, cultural.
I know.
But like an American, like my husband looks at that and he's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Will your husband eat octopus? Has he ever tried it?
No. Are you kidding me?
It's like tried it, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I think it's good. But like because it's in like the ink sauce, right?
Yeah. Yep.
He's just like, oh, like he thinks it's like the grossest thing. And the fact that it still has like all the little suction cups on it, like,
and then tentacles.
On the tentacles. He thinks that's like not acceptable.
But it's like, it's pretty much calamari, isn't it? Isn't that what they say? That's what it like. Calamari is.
I mean, they're very different. Like one of them is like battered.
And one don't see like the freaking body still attached. Yeah.
The other one, you have like tentacles like suction cupping to your tongue.
That's another good meal with to put your parmesan in though.
Oh, with the ink sauce. Yeah. My dad always orders an octopus meal everywhere he goes. In the Azores, so because he goes around to restaurants there trying to order it, and they only make so much of it, so like the restaurants would run out, so people pre-order the octopus. So like my dad will show up at a restaurant, like the restaurant opens at 12 that day. My dad will be the first person waiting at the door when they open at 12, and they'll be like, "Sorry, Señor, we're all sold out of octopus." And he's like, "I'm the first one here. What do you mean you're all sold out?" And he gets so upset because they like pre-order So then he'll have people coming in after him and getting octopus. And he was like, not happy about that.
Oh, damn. I did not know that.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's a hot commodity.
Oh, shit. Well, he should have came to my brother's party. He would have been the only one eating it.
I know.
With his friends.
But like he couldn't understand. Like he's like, how are you sold out? And then people that are coming in after me are eating octopus. He's like, I don't understand.
Oh man, I feel like they called it in ahead.
Yeah,
they called it in ahead.
Exactly.
They probably called the day before even, probably.
Probably. I don't know what they do, but so something related to kind of like parties and the amount of food that they make. We talked about this with Connie when she came up. We were just having an informal conversation off air with her about this. And she said that like, okay, let's say you're having some friends over for lunch for a cookout. You're in your mind, those people are not leaving before dinner time and you need to feed them twice. So like you have to feed them lunch, cook out lunch. And then if they hang around long enough, you also need to feed them dinner.
Right.
So, which my husband thinks is like a wild concept. He cannot understand that. Like every time my mom has a cookout, she's like, oh, like she'll marinate a bunch of food and she'll be like, oh, like we'll put this on the grill now for lunch and then we'll save this for like if people are still around for dinner and we want to put some fresh stuff on the grill for dinner. And he's like, what? Like, what do you mean you're feeding people twice at this party? And I'm like, that's just what, and people will linger around and it'll be dinner time. And they'll be like, oh, let's put some fresh stuff on the grill.
You're not going to tell these people to leave. Like, hey, I don't have any more food. You guys got to get going. Like,
yeah, I know we're not Swedish. But I don't know, like in an American situation that would happen. And like, I guess they would just like order pizza or something for the second wave at dinner. Like, all right, if you guys still want to stick around and you're hungry, let's order some pizzas. But like they wouldn't. I don't know.
No. To me, that just feels so normal. Like, okay,
that's completely normal.
I'm having an afternoon party. These people will probably still be here for dinner, so I got to feed them twice.
Right. So I don't know if for him it's like the fact that like we're preparing 2 meals for these people, or if it's like why are they lingering around from lunch to dinner?
Right.
I don't know. But to me, that's normal.
Yeah. No, like most parties that we go to you have like a start time, but like there's never usually no end time. You're not like telling these people what time for them to go home. Like you leave it up to them to decide when they want to go home.
And we're lingerers.
Oh my God, we're such lingerers. Oh my God. Luckily, like when I go to your house, I'm such a lingerer at your house that I even stay over. We're just all about good vibes. We just want to eat and talk. We just want to make sure everyone's being fed. There's nothing wrong. We're just we're basically becoming our freaking parents.
Oh yeah, I'm over the top. It is. I'm over the top with food. And I have now apparently put it into my husband's brain because we just had my daughter's birthday party. We had maybe 35 people, 40 tops at her birthday party like a month ago or whatever, 2 months ago. We had plenty of food and we were trying to do something simple. We were trying to just do like a burgers and dogs situation, but of course it wasn't. It escalates as it does. But we had more than enough food. We're making it all like we were making like the hamburgers from scratch. So like we were actually like seasoning them and shaping hamburgers on our own. Yeah. We had a bunch of hot dogs for the kids and like whatever. We had Charisse, everything. And in like the final hour before the guests started arriving, my husband started to panic. I was there. My mom was there. My dad was there. None of us were panicked about how much food there was. We're the Portuguese ones. My husband was panicking and he was like, I need to go buy more burgers and dogs. And he made this like final last minute trip out to the grocery store and he like doubled it in the final hour. Like he went out and got like exactly the same amount that we already had. He just doubled all the food that we had.
Yeah, and you didn't even need it because you already had more than enough.
We already had more than enough. And so like we had everything that he bought extra was like waste. Like we didn't need any of that. And we still had like leftovers from what we had originally. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh my God, I've been with him for 13 years. Like I have infiltrated his brain and he now has this insecurity about running out of food.
I love it. He's slowly becoming one of us.
Yes.
Or he has already become one of us.
Oh, absolutely. He's like, I hate that I did that.
Because now you're stuck with all those hamburgers and hot dogs.
I still have like a case of 40 hot dogs in my fridge, like left over.
It's like the freaking pudding situation. We've never like, whatever parties we've thrown, mostly usually like for my brother because his birthday's in the summer. Mine's is always like in the winter, so I always got shafted. We've never like, luckily, knock on wood, we've never like run out of food. It never has to do like a middle trip to go get food. The same thing with like with alcohol. We never ran out of it. I don't know. For us to think like how much we need to buy and make, like we're pretty good at doing that.
Yeah.
Like we just figure out how many people come in and then we just double it. It always works out. Like besides the wedding, I've never went to anything and there was never any food.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, never. There's always like, you finish a party, everybody's done eating and you look at the food and you're like, it doesn't even look like anybody touched any of it. That's how much is left. It looks like the party hasn't started yet.
I did go to a party and there was no B-Day birthday cake. There wasn't enough of it. Let's just say.
My mom, I bought a giant cake. You saw the cake. We had, it was a cake debacle. You saw the cake for my daughter's birthday party, right? Mm-hmm. And my mom was so worried that there wasn't going to be enough cake. So she was the one who was cutting the slices. So she was literally cutting off the like tiniest slivers ever of this cake to give to people because she knew she had to pass out to like 40 people and she didn't think there was going to be enough. And so she cut out like these smallest pieces of cake for everybody. And then there was like 3/4 of the cake left when she was done. And I was like, so Mom, now I have to throw the rest of this cake in the trash. And everybody there was like, why did you give me such a small
piece? Yeah, no, that cake that you got for your kid was more than enough.
It could have fed 100 people. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It was massive. She would have died if she went to the party that I went to and it was like a small 8-inch round cake. Your mother would have freaked out.
So to close out this episode, I'll let listeners know one of the things that we've done with our family traditions. So for Christmas dinners, my family always does Christmas Eve. And we've always just had like a traditional Portuguese style meal for Christmas. Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of like the like American Thanksgiving, but like with a twist, like Portuguese style. You know, there's like shrimp Mozambique and there's like French fries and just weird, you know, ribs that my grandmother made, like weird stuff and whatever. Like
Christmas Eve is always just a random like array of different things. It's like weird stuff, all good stuff, but it's like
they'll make a turkey, you know, like they'll make a turkey or ham or whatever, and like, but then it's like all these like random Portuguese styles.
Things,
like
same
in the mix. Like they'll have like their special stuffing. What's it called? Schvit.
Oh yeah.
The meat stuffing. So whatever, they'll have like all kinds of things. That was like always our traditional meal. And like one year, my cousin and I were like, let's like switch it up. Let's do something a little different. So we decided we were going to do cultural themed cuisine meals for each year of Christmas. So like we, you know, like Italian, Mexican, Chinese. So we started doing that. And we have this whole list of 25 different cultural cuisines that we want to try working through. And we make up this whole menu, and we cook everything from soup, appetizer, meal, dessert. Everything is like on theme for this culture.
That's it. I love that you guys do this every year.
And so my cousin and I are the ones who cook it with my husband. We'll do like the year we did like a Chinese or Asian themed. We made wonton soup. We made teriyaki skewers. It was like all very difficult stuff to make.
Yeah.
But we did it all. My cousin like handmade fortune cookies for the dessert because we always do a Yankee swap, and you know how you have to like pick numbers at the beginning of a Yankee swap. So he put pieces of paper that were numbered in the fortune cookies so that people would have their fortune cookie for dessert, and you'd break it open and it would have your number for your placement in the Yankee swap. Like we're extra.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a great tradition. This past year, we decided to do breakfast for dinner as our theme. So it wasn't really cultural. And so we did this whole like breakfast spread for Christmas Eve dinner. And every year, all I can think about is like, because we're very extra and we just like go over the top with this stuff. And we always have to stop and be like, what are the Vavos going to think? What are the Vavos going to eat? You know what I mean? Like my grandmother, she just got dentures or whatever the heck put in, but she had no teeth for like the past Christmas.
Yeah.
And so it was like, can Vavo chew what we're making? Is there a soft option? Is there a soupy
right
option for Vavo? Or like, what is Vavo going to think when because we don't really tell them, we don't really like announce it in advance. Like they just show up and they just eat whatever like spread we've made. And I'm like, they're going to show up here thinking like they're getting like a turkey dinner for Christmas. And they're going to be like, surprise, waffle.
So how many years have you been doing it already?
Oh, it's been at least 5 to 6 years. I think we definitely started it before my daughter was born, I think. So like it's probably been even longer than that. So
it's expected now that they know that you like do this.
They know we do it. They don't necessarily know what the theme is.
And what was their first reaction the first time you did it? Were they like, we started with like easier stuff. Like I think we might have started with like Italian, which was just like normal, you know, like lasagna and stuff. So like Italian wedding soup, like nobody really, it wasn't too different. Like, so they didn't really mind. The year we went Asian, people were like, this is different. And we did like a Mexican themed one with like, we did like a burrito bowl bar thing. So that was really cool. But again, it's like, it's not traditional at all in any way, shape or form. And I think that's cool though.
We've done kind of the safer options already. Like we've already worked through like the common cuisines. So now we're getting into like the ones on our list that are like Jewish cuisine and like, like German. French. It's gonna start to get real.
It's gonna start to get real dicey.
It's gonna get dicey. Like I'm gonna be like Julia Child cooking over there, doing my like French poaching and I don't even know what, but I love that you guys do it because I would be like terrified to be like, okay, I gotta cook like French food. Like what am I doing? It's honestly fun for us to come up with the menu. Like we conceptualize the whole menu. Yeah. And that's super fun. And then executing it is great. We just sit there and like we order my parents around. They're like sous chefs. We're like, all right, I need you to go do this. I need you to run the fryer. I need you to do this. Most of the time it's stuff that we haven't ever made before. Like if we're doing like. And you guys don't pre-cook something just to like be like, hey, this is just my practice run. No, it's all does. Game day, all laid out, baby. Yeah. So if it tastes good, if it doesn't taste good, it's just you gotta wait on Christmas Eve to find out. we've been pleasantly surprised. Like, I don't think we've made a bad thing yet. Like, everything has been really, really good.
Yeah.
We go all out. Like, we bought like skewers and we cut meat and skewered like teriyaki beef sticks for the Asian one. Like, it was a whole process.
Awesome. I love that you do this.
Yeah. So it's a really fun tradition. It's all cultural related. So that was kind of a cool thing to talk about.
Which is why we have a hard time having our Christmas Eve breakfast mornings. Because I know you always have to get back soon so you can start cooking.
Yeah, so we have our tradition of, we've been doing that for, I don't know, 15 years now, maybe.
I think so.
Where our kind of friend group sort of got dispersed after, in college and stuff and after college. So people live in different states, but most people kind of return back to the area for Christmas. So we would do like a Christmas Eve morning breakfast out where we just go to like the local IHOP or whatever and just kind of just reconvene, regroup, and see each other. And so for some of us, it was the only time we'd see each other all year. It was fun to do that, but then I started this tradition and it became more difficult. So
I know, you're like, can we do breakfast at like 7 a.m? We're like, what?
I gotta get the skewers in the oven. So it became a little more difficult, but then I think we made it so like you would just stop by the house and I would just be like cooking and chopping as you're like talking to me.
I want to say, I think this last Christmas Eve we didn't because it actually was like a snowstorm that day. Because remember, like our friend was trying to get to your house, headed to your house, and she got stuck.
California's made her soft.
Yes,
I know she listens to this podcast.
But I think the year before that's what we ended up doing. We ended up just like going hanging out at your house while you cooked.
You guys were absolutely no help at all.
No. I don't think you want me to help you cook.
Oh man.
Oh. So I think we kind of wrapped it up, right? So it's about that time. Thanks for listening.
And also check out our website, which is www.folkandfad.com, folkandfad.com. Eventually, we'll have more than just our podcast on there. We're going to kind of build that out, but we're still working on that. So for now, you can check out the podcast page on there. There's a cute little Q&A that we just added with the hosts. So we just answered a few questions that are kind of fun. And we also added a section where you can submit your own stories. So you can go right on there. And if you have anything that you want us to talk about on our podcast, you can do it through that website. You can also DM us on social media platforms for that as well. The other section that will be coming soon there will be an area where you can request to be a guest on our show. We would love to start hosting guests regularly. I think we finally are feeling like we're ready for that. So as soon as we get that part of the website up and running, we will let folks know that they can submit that request. We may also just be reaching out to folks that we know have already expressed interest to us as well. So all exciting things coming soon. And as a final sign off, I'll just remind you of our social media pages where we're most active, which is our Instagram page. Our handle there is @_It's Called Culture. We let you know when new episodes are available. We post some fun clips and reels there. So that's a fun place. Also on Twitter, we engage in a lot of conversation about our episodes, or we kind of pose questions that we want people to weigh in on before we record an episode. So that's pretty fun. The handle on Twitter is @folkandfad, FOLKANDFAD. And just a reminder that our episodes air at 4 a.m. Eastern every Tuesday. We'll see you next week.